What's happening? What's happening? Hope that you're doing well. And I guess the caption, or I don't know what is the description, it definitely is eye catching because I've been singing the praises of Ghana for the past almost 3 years now. And so the question always comes: is there anything that you don't like? Well, anyway, before I get into that, today has been one of them long days. So and then tomorrow's going to be a long day. It's been very productive, however. It's been a very productive day, and I wanted to drop this in before yeah, it's early, but I'm about to. I think jet lag or something. Very productive. Looked at a bunch of properties today, and got a lot done. I mean, I got a lot of content, a lot of things I want to share with you, and it kind of ties into just kind of ties into this whole deal, or a question rather. What don't I like about Ghana? What don't I like? And I think that's a fair question because I have, again, been singing the praises for almost 3 years. So let me walk it down to you. What I don't like about Ghana. The number one thing I don't like about Ghana is the traffic. It's the traffic. It's the traffic, and the traffic. And I hear Lagos in Nigeria is the worst in the world. But I don't know, this Ghanaian traffic is something special. I was sitting in it today. So yeah, that's probably where my jet lag came from. I got traffic lag, but that's the number one thing I don't like is the traffic. Um, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's you try to avoid it, it's like it finds you, and it comes out of nowhere. You're like, well, I thought we beat it. It's like it hovers around. So I tell everybody, pack your patience, be ready. There are ways you can navigate it. Obviously, getting up earlier, and that's what happened. I was up early this morning, and so we were able to beat the traffic, and to a point, and then it found us. It's like it tracked us down, and so it kept, you try to get around it, and then it comes back around and it gets you. Um, so yeah, so the traffic is. I mean, it any traffic in LA, any traffic in Atlanta, any traffic in the DMV. Again, Lagos, I'm sure Lagos, Nigeria, they said Lagos, Nigeria is 10 times worse. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to. They say they have human traffic in Lagos. So it's like the people walking, they got traffic. I don't know. I guess I got to go see for myself. Anyway, so that's number one, the traffic. Then after that, and it kind of speaks to why I keep encouraging people to come. Some of these things, and I don't know about the traffic so much. I don't think people coming is going to help that. But the next thing that I don't like about Ghana is the amount of foreign ownership that I see in disproportionate levels. That is the part that is like, so if I go into certain establishments, it's not owned by many of them, not all, because I found some Ghanaian. See, I'm intentional about finding Ghanaian-owned establishments and taking my resources to. But a lot of the establishments are not owned by Ghanaians, and that is that bothers me because I go in, like the grocery stores. Many of the grocery stores are not owned by Ghanaians, and the people who own it are sitting in the back looking at you like you're a criminal, and it's like, yo, and so it's like these Lebanese dudes sitting in the back looking like gangsters, and so you just kind of sit there and you realize that's a part of the that's a part of the. Let's up and come back. All right, so yeah, so in dealing with so in dealing with that aspect of it, you that's what that's the part I couldn't get with is all of the, and I think my signal cut out there for a second. Let me just check something real quick. So anyway, so that's one. All right. So I should be back. So I'm giving it a second to reboot. So I don't like seeing that. I don't like going to the grocery store, some of the restaurants, some of the hotels, and seeing that. I mean, it's like that all over the world. I mean, if you go anywhere in Atlanta or the DMV, you're going to see a high population of brown people, but yet the ownership is. I saw it in South Africa. It drove me crazy in South Africa. It was like, it's just like nauseating to see it. And it's like that in most of Africa. If you go to Sierra Leone, you see the same thing. So that's one of the reasons why I'm like, where are we in this? Because you just see it, and it's a pimp game. You got the Lebanese, you got the Chinese, you got the French, the Germans, the Dutch. The same players in the whole game are still around pimping the system. So that's what's happening. So I don't like that. This price gouging thing is something I don't like either. And I joke about the whole Obroni thing, but there's one price for locals, and then there's this Obroni pricing, and so I don't fall for it. I don't play it. I don't do it. It's like, okay, if you're gonna try to charge me something different, then I'll just take my money somewhere else. And when I first came, everybody was saying, you need to get a Ghanaian to negotiate for you. I was like, I don't need to get the Ghanaian to negotiate for me. It's like, if I know what I'm supposed to pay and they're going to try to overcharge me, I got 400 people walking down the street trying to hustle whatever they're hustling, and I can get the same thing from somebody else who's not going to charge me Obroni pricing. And so once I figured out how to navigate that space, then I'm fine. I don't need anybody to come in and negotiate and talk for me and all of that. I'll just go somewhere else. Okay, fine. I mean, because the bottom line is you still want this money. So we can cut to the chase. Either you want it or you don't, because somebody else around the corner will take it. So, but the price gouging and, something costing, maybe it costs you $5. I'll just use that as a round number. And then they see me coming, they want to charge 12. And I'm like, well, no. And then part of what we do coming from other places, we're feeling sorry. And I've learned not to feel sorry anymore. So it's like, okay, treat this like how it is. Don't try to hustle me, because then now you're going to snap me into, Obroni mode, which is a combination of this stuff. So that's one thing I don't like. I don't like the when, like, you'll see the kids on the street and they'll be begging. But here's the thing. This is what I learned. At first when I saw it, I felt sorry for the children, meaning from the standpoint of, oh, these children are poor, and oh, what are we going to do? We have to do something. Until I realized that what was happening is many of these children are just like the candy kids that we have in America, where you see them on the street corner. We selling candy for our basketball tournament, and we need you to buy it. And so we're feeling sorry, we go buy candy from them. And really, they have a pimp behind the scenes. And so what happens in a lot of communities is that they rent the children out to go out and beg. And the children become professional beggars. And they learn, and they get to, they got that thing down. So when I was in Kumasi, this girl, she must have been about 12 or so. The window was down, and she came up to the car, and she actually looked like she was Ethiopian. And she put her elbow on the door, and she looked me in the face, and she was as cute as she could be. And she looked at me, and she did one of these little numbers right here, like she wanted money for food or whatever. And I looked at her, and I said, no. She tried to bat her eyes, and I said, no. And she smiled, and I smiled right back, because I understood that really this money wasn't going to her. It was going to go to her pimp or whoever had her on the street. And so those are, these are things that you learn. You become street savvy real quick out here in these streets, and so you learn some of that. So that's something I don't like, but that's just a part of it. I mean, just like I don't like the candy kids in America, and what happens with them. And what I do with them in America, I said, look, I said, who you working for? I just cut to the chase. Who you working for? I don't say who's your pimp. I don't do that. But who you working for? Well, we got, our sponsor and all of that. I said, no, for real. I said, what's the deal? And then I have a different kind of conversation. But you'll see that you'll pull up to a light, and if you give one money, because that's what'll happen, is how you end up with no money. You give one money, and then you got a whole gang, about 50 coming. And so you just got to learn how to, sometimes you look and see which ones, and some of you slip a little money to on the low or whatever, because sometimes that's just how we're moved, which is fine. But you just got to be careful, because before you know it, you won't have anything. And people are exploited on so many different levels. And sometimes people will exploit your emotion. They will exploit your ignorance. They will exploit the fact that you don't know. Tanya said, okay, so you understand. So this is all over everywhere. So it's but it doesn't keep me from coming. You understand that's the thing. It's like, I don't like it, but it's like, okay, so what can we do? How do we change some of this? So what I do in America, that's why I educate and encourage the youth and teach the youth. Well, same thing I'm going to be doing in Africa. What else? Oh, okay. Now in Ghana, here's just the real deal. Some of these properties in Ghana are overpriced. I mean, like gangster, like unreal. Like, really? Are you serious? Now, I bought my condo here. I'm not in the condo yet. It's being built. I bought it for $37,500. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo. That's fair. For what I'm getting, no problems. But I went to go look at something today. I almost wanted to laugh when I saw it. So I said, it was a 4-bedroom, detached home. And I mean, it's probably about 45 minutes outside of Accra. And then, the roads you got to go through. I joked about it today. I said, I think I'm in Sierra Leone today. I wasn't sure. so we went so far. And I said, okay. Now, I got vision, because I understand that as the roads are being paved and developed, that's going to increase the property value. But when I asked the lady, I said, so how much is this property right here? She said $450,000. I said, oh, $450,000. What, US dollars? She said, yes, US dollars. Now, I said, somebody's smoking something. I said, now, these developers, 90% of them are not Ghanaian. And so I asked the one dude, I said, so who are the developers? Well, there's an American. So he thought I was going to get excited about that. And then I said, well, now hold tight. I said, tell me what kind of American. And so he said, a couple guys from the UK and another couple of places. And I said, and they bought the land. They got the land dirt cheap. And then they started selling these properties, and they target certain people. Obviously it's classism, so they're targeting different classes, and they recognize, and this is everywhere. Okay, so I'm not just saying Ghana. This is happening in Sierra Leone. This is happening in Nigeria. It's happening in South Africa. It's happening in Atlanta. It's happening in Detroit. Let me tell you something. What's happening in Detroit? The gentrification is happening in Detroit right now, right underneath the nose of everybody in Detroit. So it's happening all over the place. But to the point, that's something I don't like here. So there's a way to navigate it and really be smart about it by doing your due diligence and not getting caught up. So whenever you go to a different country, you want to make sure that you understand the economics. And when I say the economics, you understand how that pricing structure is. So like when I went to South Africa, they got some stuff. Ironically, South Africa is less expensive, or Joburg is less expensive than Accra. I couldn't believe it. I said, somebody's smoking something. But anyway, so when you go in, it's like you understand what you're dealing with, and you begin to negotiate from that standpoint. And sometimes when people, but obviously, in capitalism, you're going to go to get the most money you can get. If they can get obviously they sold them, so somebody's spending $450,000 on those homes. Way out by the time you get there, you got whiplash from from bumping up and down on the roads. But by the time it's all said and done, obviously the value of those houses are going to be, they're going to hold the value. And now here's something I do like about the construction of the homes in everywhere I've seen in Africa. They are not cheap built homes. They are built with cinder blocks, cement. These houses are solid. In America, we build, they call them stick houses, where basically, like, people in Africa, we're the ones thinking their houses are cheap or whatever. They're looking at us like we wouldn't even buy that. We wouldn't even touch that thing. You got the wood as your walls, where they have cinder blocks. So when it comes to fires and everything, that the whole community isn't burning down. So there are some benefits to these homes and into the construction in these homes in every part of Africa I've been in. So I will not knock that at all. It's just the overpricing that I see, but that's it. I mean, that's it. I mean, as far as people, corruption and all of that, I mean, corruption's everywhere. If people don't think the corruption's in America, then they are delusional. I mean, you can see it on every level, from the little jive time, let me not even call out, from every level. You'll see some level of corruption. So it is what it is. That's what politics, that's the nature of that business. But here's why I encourage people to come. Because if we don't come, if we don't see, then how do we begin to open the businesses? How do we begin to do those different things, or encourage people to open the businesses? Or, there's something that we have in America, in the UK and Canada, that we can bring to different parts of Africa, which it just might be our resources or our ability to we have a entrepreneurial thing about us too. So there are things that we can do that help enhance the quality of the lives. And that's my whole thing. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to take from anyone. I'm here to be able to enhance and inspire. And I might not like what I see, so what am I going to do to help change it? That's my thing. So if I got to put my feet on the ground, I got to be here. I got to do what I got to do, and some things I'm not going to ever be able to change. That's the reality. Some things will never change. The traffic, that's just going to take more infrastructure. So it's probably going to require more loans from the Chinese in order for it to happen. So that's kind of like a catch-22. I know Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania got together and built a highway without the Chinese, so that was good. As far as a lot of people don't realize how strong Lebanon is. Like, West Africa is like little Lebanon, and even South Africa too, like little Lebanon, and they've been here for generations. And this is not to say anything disparaging against the people who are trying to take advantage of opportunity. I'm not mad at them for doing that. I think the part that's just sad for me is how the many West Africans are still used as that cheap labor, still used, the same way in America. That's black folks in America, cheap labor. That's how they do it. That's how it is. So, but what we have to do is start shifting our mindset. We have to start educating ourselves. We have to be willing to put our feet on the ground. We have to be willing to do unconventional things. We have to be willing to get outside of the box. We have to now shift our mindset. Instead of looking at the negatives as negatives and saying, let me stay away. It's like, these are some of the things that are negative. What can I do to help fix it and turn it into a positive? What can we do as far as, obviously with the children, that's going to be difficult because that's a system that's in place worldwide. Exploitation of children is a worldwide multi-billion-dollar industry. And so all we can do is begin to educate people and bring awareness to it and not fund it. That's the thing. If we fund it, then they're going to keep doing whatever happens along with that. And then when it comes to the price gouging, that's like when people come on my tours, I tell them, like, look, here's the deal. If you don't want to get it, don't buy it. They can't pressure you, and they're not as gangster as like in Jamaica. That's the one thing. I've not experienced gangster like in Jamaica. Jamaica got a gangster thing when they come at you to try to sell you something. It goes to another level. Unless now we did have one time when we went to one place and it was probably too many of us, and it was like, oh man, it was like feasting time, and everybody came and tried to really aggressively sell what they had, but just by saying no thank you, it's okay, no thank you, I'm good. And you do that, and you just keep it moving. And if you want to buy it, you buy it. And it's really that simple. It's that simple. When they see you, this what you have to understand, in places that are economically challenged, when they many people in the Caribbean and Mexico, even when I was in Mexico, they were going hard. Um, they think Americans are rich. And I'm saying you don't know the conversations I have with folks, and sometimes they scraping pennies together to make this thing happen. You don't understand. It's not what you're thinking. So, but they when they see Americans or people from the UK and they hear that accent, there it is. And but it's expected. I mean, let's flip the script. If it was us, what would we do? What would we do? Wouldn't we do the same thing? Wouldn't we be out there hustling and trying to do what we need to do? So I don't fault anybody. I don't get offended by it. I recognize that that's just the way that it is. And people are fighting for resources. People hungry out here. People trying to do what they need to do. And I'm not talking about like physically hungry like that, but well, some of them are, but people are trying to survive. Just the same way we get out there and hustle and try to survive in America and trying to do what we got to do, working overtime and all the different things that we do to make ends meet. It's the same way all over the world. So anyway, that's all I got. Traffic, the disproportionate or the lack of representation in Ghanaian-owned businesses on the top tier levels, and then let's see, the price gouging come with the territory. Let's see, I've learned a lot in my travels. So if you rolling with me, they don't even bother me because somebody I had to tell somebody one time they were something they said. They were like, yeah. I said, well, I'm African too. And that quieted the whole conversation. Then they started talking about Ghanaians and Nigerians and such. I said, I got a whole lot of Nigerian thing going on too. So so it was a fun conversation. But it's like sometimes you got to remind people that I'm a part of this whole collective African diaspora as well, and we can have a great time together. I don't get into tribalism and all of that. I don't. That's not my angle. But sometimes you gotta let people know I got a little street sense too, and it moves on from there. And you invest in people, you support people, and I'm telling you, some of the nicest people, smartest people, most supportive people, and encouraging people I have met in all of my days have come from this continent, from the East, from the West, from the South, and I look forward to getting to the North soon. But you owe it to yourself to spend some time here and really absorb the culture. You'll see the things you don't like, but I mean, I don't know any place that's going to be perfect. I don't know any place that you're going to go. Even when people get to Paris and they find out how nasty and dirty Paris is, that after they've been lusting after it all them years, they're like, wow, I didn't know Paris was filthy. But it's like, hey, they show the images they want you to see. And they don't take you to the slums and show you the slums of Paris. They don't do that. No, they show you the Eiffel Tower from the iron that was stolen from Algeria. So you just got to understand it and process and put it all together and enjoy yourself. All right, so that's all I got. We got a big thing coming up a little bit later on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My interview with King Khoisan from the Khoisan tribe in South Africa, and he's going to share some interesting insights. And we got other stuff coming up. I'm going to show you what I've been eating and all that good stuff. So make sure you check out the website, MaximumImpactTravel.com. And all right, I'm also about to go to sleep too. That's because I got to get up early. I got a trip to Kumasi coming up real soon. All right, hope to see you on one of these tours, and we are excited this summer, 2021.